Oh, her eyes are open. Hi, mamas. Hi, mamas. Yes, your mommy wants to see you.
Sing to me, sing to me, mommy, sing to me, sing to me, mommy, girl, did you know?
Hey guys, what's up? So I know it's been quite a while. It's been a minute, actually, a few months. But I am back and better than ever. No, but I am back. I just kind of had to take a step back. My life got extremely busy, especially with all the holidays and stuff. And I ain't even gonna lie, I just got lazy. But today I wanted to share some stuff with you guys. So I figured let's have a story time. Story time. Hey. No, but I wanted to share my labor and delivery with you guys because a lot of people ask me about it, and I feel like my labor and delivery was, I don't want to say unique, but it wasn't your typical fairy tale labor and delivery. Okay, it was chaotic. So I figured I would share that with y'all. Please don't mind my hair. I'm deep conditioning it right now. Needed some TLC bad. So, also, if you want me to do a video on my deep conditioning and a wash and go, make sure you leave a comment for me. Definitely get that done for y'all, okay? But I really wanted to be 100% transparent with you guys. So I figured what better way than to let y'all see me in my natural habitat, which is no makeup, bummy clothes, and trying to do something with my hair. And then of course, you know, this mommy life does not stop for anything. So I am also going to be folding clothes. So fun. But let's get into this story time. Wait, I almost forgot. Before I start this story, if you are not already, press pause and go hit that subscribe button. And if you are not already, make sure you hit that bell button so you are notified every time I upload a video. Like I said, I promise I am going to be more consistent and I ain't gonna vanish on y'all again. All right, but let's see, my labor and delivery. So I'm gonna just give y'all a little bit of background information before I just dive right into my labor and delivery. My overall pregnancy was very simple and it was very like by the book, meaning like, you know, they say you have like your morning sickness for 12 weeks and after 12 weeks it's over and this happens and this happens, and pretty much that's exactly how my pregnancy was. Like I had morning sickness, well, more like all day sickness for the first 12 weeks of my pregnancy, and then I'm not lying, like no lie, after that 12th week, that day, the next day I was like Gucci. Like it was really weird. But like I said, but other than that, like everything was normal. But I will say I disliked being pregnant, like hated it. I think mainly because I was pregnant during the summer, so it was just hot. And if you live in Portland, like it's not hot that often, so many houses and stuff don't have AC, and we didn't have AC. We had like a portable AC that was in our living room, and that was it. So like at nighttime, I was just hot, basically, and like wherever I went, unless I was in my car or in a building, it was just hot. So yeah, it's just the whole pregnancy thing. Like it's cool, it's unique, it's different. Like it's really amazing to see how your body can change, but I ain't gonna sit here and lie to y'all and say that I loved it, because I didn't. Anyways, so that's kind of like just some background information on my overall pregnancy. And a little bit, so I'm gonna give y'all this detail and I'll tie it into the story later on, okay? So I ended up going to the dentist while I was pregnant. I think I was maybe like 7 months pregnant, and I went to the dentist just to do a normal checkup and stuff, whatever. And the dentist put the chair too far back. So while I'm basically like almost laying down, and I could, like, I felt something go on in my stomach. And I didn't know what it was. I just figured like it was Nova kicking or something. No, come to find out, Nova had in turned in my stomach while I was laying on the dentist chair. I think like just me being spread out kind of like gave her some room, so she just kind of like rotated herself. So for like 2 days I had like this huge, not huge, but I had like a big knot right here, and I was like, what is that, you know? And I just figured it was like her butt or something. And I was like, okay, like this little girl over here tooting her butt up at me. And then like about a week later, well, not a week, a few days after my dentist appointment, I had a doctor's appointment, a checkup appointment. So when I went, they like did, you know, they felt around and stuff. And I don't know if I had an ultrasound that day or if they felt something weird, so they did an ultrasound, or what happened. But it turned out Nova was breached. So if you guys don't know what breached means, that means she was head up and her feet were down, which they're supposed to be the other way around. Their head's supposed to be down and their feet's supposed to be up. So she was breached. So I had to make an appointment to go get her turned around. Y'all, that ish hurt. Okay, like it was a very short pain, but it was a pain. Like it was weird that I was laying there and the doctor kind of had a hand here and a hand here, and she was just feeling around, and then all of a sudden you just feel her go. It was like they kind of like popped something into place, but she turned Nova, and it was just the weirdest shit ever. But so that happened, and I was like, okay, cool, like I'm good now, you know, everything's back to normal. Nova is how she's supposed to be, and this is just gonna be a breeze. So fast forward to me, I guess when I was 9 months. Side note, I could have sworn that I was going to have an early pregnancy. Why? I don't know. I just had a feeling. I had a gut feeling. Needless to say, my gut feeling was wrong. I actually was late. So I was supposed to have Nova October 13th. I ended up having her October 18th. So I was about 5 days overdue. Annoyed as, okay, like just effing annoyed. But so yeah, so I just wanted to give y'all that little detail also. So let's just fast forward to the day that I went into labor. I was at work that day. I had to go to work that day, and at work I literally I had a excuse me. I had a medicine ball at work that I used to sit on instead of a chair, and I would just oh my god, excuse me. So gosh, cough attack. Okay, guys. All right, I'm back. So I had a medicine ball that I had a medicine ball at work that I used to sit on instead of a chair, because you know they say that if you like bounce on a medicine ball, then it helps with your labor, will helps put you in labor. So I was just bouncing away, and I had a contraction, and I was like, oh my god, I just had a contraction. So I just kept on bouncing, and throughout the day my contractions kept coming. They weren't consistent yet, but they kept coming. So then I get home and I start doing these other exercises. I just start walking around the house. I think I went and walked around the neighborhood. I had a medicine ball at home too, and I was bouncing on that medicine ball and just doing all kinds of stuff to make my contractions come faster. So it's about 8 or 9 o'clock, I think, and my contractions start to get closer and closer. So they finally reached that point of like, I think it's like they have to be a certain amount of time long, between 3 and 5 minutes apart, for a whole hour. Like whatever, I can't remember that exact number or the exact count, but that's where they got. Okay, so as soon as they got there, I was like, oh yes. I was the only one home though, so I was just like, oh, okay. Once my parents get here, then I'm gonna just have my stepmom take me to the hospital, and we finna do the damn thing, right? I was excited because, mind you, I was 5 days overdue, so I was ready for her to get the up out of me. Okay. So yeah, they walked through the door and I'm like, come on, we gotta go to the hospital, this, that, and third. So we go to the hospital, they check me in, and when you first get there, they take you into this room where they like check all your vitals, and they check your the baby's vitals and your contractions and things like that, just to see if they can admit you for labor. So we were in there for like a good 30-45 minutes maybe, and basically like they came and checked my cervix and everything, and the doctor was just like, yeah, so you're not dilated at all. I was like, hold on, what? She's like, yeah, you're not dilated at all. Your cervix is kind of soft, but you know, there's no dilation. So I was pissed. Okay, so I'm just like, okay. And they're like, yeah, so we're just gonna have you go back home, and you know, once they get in, my contractions had started to get further apart also. So they were like, yeah, so we're just gonna have you go back home, and once you know, your contractions start to get closer again, and then just come back in. And I was like, okay, but what am I gonna do about this pain? Because the contractions started to really hurt, and I mean, my pain tolerance is pretty low, but they were hurting. So they were like, oh, just take some Benadryl and you'll be all right. And so I'm like, okay. So we go back home, I take some Benadryl, and I basically just get in bed, just lay down, get ready to go to bed. So I had my little app that I time my contractions with, so my contractions started to get closer again. And mind you, I'm on Benadryl, so you know, Benadryl kicks in quick, and all you want, you know, it's supposed to put you to sleep. So I'm like sitting up kind of on my bed, and I'm just laying here, and I got my phone here, and I'm trying to like fall asleep, but every time I start to fall asleep, I have a contraction. So it's just like, it's horrible. I'm like super miserable. I cannot sleep at all. I'm tired, but then at the same time I'm having contractions, and I'm like not screaming, but just moaning very loudly in my bed every time I have a contraction. And I'm like holding onto my bed. The cover's like, oh my God, like, oh, just stop, right? So it got to the point like where I was moaning so loud that my stepmom had to come. Well, she didn't have to, but she came into the room to like check on me, like, are you okay? Side note, look at this little sweater I got for Nova. Isn't it so cute? It was $5 from Fred Meyer. Okay, but anyways, back to business. So I'm like, they're bad, I can't do this, like, we gotta go. So we end up going back to the hospital. At this point, it's like 1:30 in the morning. So we go back, they do the whole vital check and stuff again. This time, they tell me still my cervix is half a centimeter dilated. And I'm just like, what the hell? Because the way these contractions felt, I just knew that I was at least like at 2 or 3 like some type of centimeter, right? So they're like, yeah, you're only at half a centimeter, but we are gonna keep you because every time I would have a contraction, Nova's heart rate would drop. So they're like, yeah, we're just gonna keep you so that we can watch that and monitor that. So I'm like, okay. So whatever, they check me into my room, and they give me this medicine that it's not an epidural, but they like put it in your IV, and it's supposed to help with pain, but it's also supposed to like help you sleep or whatever. Yeah, but I still didn't sleep. It did help with the pain, but it only lasts for like 4 hours, and then I have to like come back. Hi guys, so my camera died on me and now I am here with my Novi boo. Say hi. Say hi. Silly. So like I was saying, they gave me this medicine, and it's supposed to help with my pain and also help me sleep. Well, it did help with the pain a lot, but it did not help me sleep. It was just so much going on. It was just hard for me to really just get a good night's sleep, and my family started coming and everything, so I just was pretty much up. So then I ended up, for that medicine, they had to come like every 4 hours, and we give it to you, and then you can only get like a certain amount of doses and all that type of stuff. So I maxed out on my doses. And so then they're like, well, do you want to do an epidural, or do you want to just, and I was like, no, give me the epidural, because it helped with the pain, but I could still feel the contractions. They just weren't as strong. So I ended up getting an epidural, but they don't want what? Sorry guys, I gotta put on Incredibles for her because that is her favorite movie. It was Moana, but then they took Moana off of Netflix. So now she likes the Incredibles, Incredibles 2. Did you have a good nap? Yeah. There you go. Here you go. So yeah, they gave me my epidural and everything, and yeah, so I was just kind of chilling. The only thing was that I still was not dilating. So they kept trying to give me Pitocin, penicillin, I don't know, whatever it's called that they give you to help your contractions come faster. They kept trying to give me that, but every time that the only thing was that every time my contractions would get faster and harder, the more her heart rate would drop. So it was they kind of like didn't know what to do. They had me moving in all types of different directions and placements. I was on one side, and then they had me laying on the other side, and then they had me laying on my back, then I was laying on all fours, then they had me sitting up, and it was just crazy. But her heart rate just kept dropping, and so they couldn't really do anything to make my contractions come faster, and they kind of really didn't want them to come faster because you know, they didn't know what was going to happen. And because my contractions weren't happening, then I wasn't dilating. So it was just a mess. It was nice for a little bit that I had all my family in the room, and my family and my best friends. And I say for a little bit because, well, it was nice at the time, but now that I think about it, like if I have when I have another labor, like when I get pregnant again, I don't want anybody in my room, you know, anybody except for like maybe my parents and then her dad in the room. But other than that, I don't want anybody in the room. Just because it was a lot, honestly, because, you know, with everybody there, like I feel like I had to entertain everybody, so that's part of the reason why I didn't go to sleep either, because it was like everyone's here, so I can't go to sleep, and they're all here to see me. And it was just a lot, and I just would do things differently. But it got to a point where, okay. Here. It doesn't go on this one. I don't know where's the one that it goes on. She's making me put this on her binky. There you go. You got it. So it got to a point where nothing was happening. So the nurses came in and they just kind of talked to me about possibly having to do a C-section because they don't want, you don't want the baby to get too tired and too worn out. So they just kind of went over those procedures and stuff with me and wanted to know if that was like an option or if I would be willing to do that, which I was like, yeah, if it comes down to it, then yes, whatever is going to be safest for my child. Like, I don't really care what we need to do. We just need to do it. And then they ended up having everyone in my room leave except for my parents and my grandmothers. But other than that, everyone else had to leave. So all my family was just sitting in the waiting room. They were out there like playing games and stuff. Like they sat there the whole time though and waited for me, which is really great. Like my support system is like A1, I will say. So yeah, so anyways, then that happened. So then we're still just waiting. And by this time it's like midnight, 11 o'clock. No, I'm lying. By this time, it's like 5 p.m., like around 5 or 6. And we're still just waiting. They still have me moving in different areas. And then finally, they come in and they're like going over the cesarean procedures and stuff. And they like came in to bring my mom her stuff just in case, so, and then the nurse came in and she checked my cervix and I was at a 9 and I was so happy. I was like, oh my gosh, like yes, like everyone in the room just kind of was like, yay, like everyone just kind of was excited because we knew that meant like, oh, your Nova is about to come. Hi. I don't want your binky. Oh, you want me to put it back on here? Okay. But this isn't the binky for this. Do you know where the binky is for this? Oh, you so tired? She just woke up from a nap. So they do that, and when she checked me, I was like laying on my side, and so then they're like, okay, well, let's have you lay on your back. No, I lied. So they're like, okay, let's have you get on all fours because Nova's heart rate was kind of dropping a little bit because my contractions were getting closer. So they were like, okay, let's have you get on all fours. So as soon as I get on all fours, I'm about to give you guys like 3 different views, but it's like all happening at the same time. So the first view is me. So I get on all fours, and immediately as soon as I get on all fours, I can see the screen like right here, and I just see her heart dropping just like rapidly. Like it dropped all the way to like, I want to say it dropped all the way to like 52 or something. Like it got low, and I was terrified. Like all I hear is like nurses running in and the machines beeping, and it was crazy. Like it had to be at least like 6 or 7 nurses running into my room, and everyone's unplugging things from me because they're like, we gotta go. So here's another view. This is my mom's view. So while they were having me turn on to, what are you doing? Sorry guys. while they were having me turn or get onto all fours, there was another nurse over here talking with my mom about what will happen if possibly we have to do a cesarean, and they were like giving her scrubs and stuff that she had to get on. So my mom like takes them, mind you, like none of this, like, you know, like I said, this is all happening at one time. So my mom just takes the scrubs and she's like giving them to my stepdad so that he can just hold them or whatever. And as she's handing them to my stepdad, the nurse was like, put them on, put them on. And they're like yelling at her. So she's like rushing, trying to put on her scrubs. She like falls into the couch because she like misses a hole in her pant. Like so she's rushing to try and put everything on, while meanwhile I'm over here crying, bawling, but I'm trying to also keep it together because I don't want to do anything else to stress her out. And the nurses are, you know, in there pulling plugs and everything. And all I remember, they just rush me down the hallway. Mind you, I'm still on all fours on the hospital bed, and we're running like full throttle. They are running down the hallway to get me into the surgery room. And once I get into the surgery room, it's literally like a movie. Like, it's all white. Everything is just white walls. Just everything is white. They have the big bright lights. All the nurses are like covered in their masks. It has to be like, I'm not even kidding, like it has to be at least like 10-15 nurses in that room, if not more. Everyone's in there. They've all got like, it's just crazy. They're like all calling out names to make sure all the nurses are there. Then I have a nurse here talking to me, and then my mom's over here talking to me, trying to calm me down. And then they like make me lay down so that they could put me onto the surgery table. And I'm like, at this point, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm terrified. I'm so terrified. Like, I'm crying, but I can't tell that I'm crying. And everything just feels like everyone's talking to me, but I'm still just like in my zone. Like, I hear them, but I don't hear them. And I'm just like in my own head thinking like, Lord, please just get both of us out of this safely. Like, it was the scariest thing that I've ever happened in my life. So I'm laying there on the bed, and then they plug everything back up, and I can see her heart rate is coming back up. So I'm like happy. It's like, you know, because it's rising and everything. And they're like, okay, her heart rate, like I hear them like, her heart rate's going up. Okay, that's good. And then the nurse is like telling me, okay, we're gonna give you this, they gave me some type of medicine, and it's supposed to like numb me, but then it's also gonna make me like very drowsy and loopy, like, you know, I'm just not gonna know where I'm at. And I was so terrified, you guys, that I like the whole time my hands, my whole body is just shaking like this. I'm freezing. Like, I'm so cold that they had to put so many like heated blankets on me, and then they had to put a heater underneath me. Like, I'm just freezing cold. And they do like a test, like, okay, I'm gonna scratch you, tell me when you can't feel this anymore. But I could still feel it, and so then they had to give me more medicine. And then I was like, okay, I don't feel that. But at this point, I'm just like, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm still cold. I'm just like, I'm cold. I keep telling my mom, I'm cold. It's so cold in here. But really, it was not cold at all. But my nerves, like, I don't know what it was. So then, you know, they finally, like, they cut and everything. And then they're like, okay, you're going to feel some pressure. And they, like, push right here. And they just pushed down, and all of a sudden I just heard Nova crying, and I'm getting emotional. So she's just crying, and I just remember thinking like, oh my God, like, what is going on? So, sorry. So, I hear her crying, and I'm happy, like, I'm so happy, but like, I know, like, my whole facial expression and everything is just not, like, you can't tell. It's like I was trapped in my body. And I just hear my mom yelling. She's just like, Monty, she's so beautiful. She's so beautiful. And my mom's like standing up because there's like this wall, this paper, like, you know, the sanitary paper that they put up and you can't cross it. So she's just standing up and she's recording, and you know, she's just like, oh my god, Monty, she's just so beautiful. She looks just like you. She's got so much hair. Like, she just keeps telling me all this stuff, and I still can't see. I haven't seen her, and I'm just laying there and I'm smiling, and it's too much going on. And so then, you know, they go and they weigh her. Sorry, I had to go take care of Nova real quick. So yeah, they clean her off and wrap her up and everything, and they give her to my mom. And I just remember my mom. Yeah, I just remember my mom putting her by me and just like, look at her, Monty, just look at her, she's so pretty. And I remembered just looking over her, and I smiled, and then I turned back over and I just closed my eyes. Like that, that's how exhausted, how out of it, like that's how drugged I was. Like I couldn't even really like enjoy and embrace in the fact that my daughter was here. And I hated that part. Like that hurted me so bad, because it was like I could feel, like I could inside like feel the joy. Like I just wanted to grab her, I wanted to hold her, everything, but my body just wouldn't let me. Like my body was just like you know, it wasn't working. So yeah. Then, you know, but she was fine. She was 100% good. She was 6 pounds and 14 ounces, and she was 20, what were you, 21 inches long? 21 inches long. But she was very healthy, and the whole time, she stayed up for a good like 2 hours after the delivery. Like she did not go to sleep. She was just up admiring everybody. The nurses let my family come in 3 at a time into the recovery area, and they let them come in for like 5 minutes each and just kind of like see Nova and see me, because you know they hadn't seen me since they got kicked out of the room. But yeah, like it was a crazy emotional, as you can tell, emotional experience for me. But everything worked out for the best. Nova was and still is 100%. Yes, 100% healthy. She's growing so fast. Like she's just amazing. But I need to go get this stuff out of my hair. Nova's yelling at me because she wants some food. And so I got to go. But I just want to thank you guys for listening to my story, and I hope that my story can help you soon to be mommies, or you know, mommies to be, and or just help anyone, or you know, who maybe had a similar, if you did have a similar story, or if you want to share your labor and delivery story, definitely leave me a comment in the comment box. And if you were feeling this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and I will see y'all soon. Peace.